Hello again, TheMaddScrappers. I am back to finish up these cards, these little fun fold card set from the kit from Graphic 45, these cards, which I started the first one out. I think it was an unmitigated disaster. Maybe not, but I goofed off too much. Not goofed off, but goofed too many times. So now I have a better idea, a better plan, and I've done one, so I have a better idea how to do these. So I thought we would get these other ones done. So if you haven't seen the first video, save yourself. Or you could, but, you know, I'm always worth some entertainment value somewhere. But I did want to do the rest of these. So these are cards from Graphic 45 Fairy Boutique. This kit is still available on the Graphic 45 website. So if you have it, yay, follow along, and it might help you make this card easier or not, or more entertaining. If you don't have it, here is a video that will make you want to buy it, because I loved it. I love these cards. You make, 6 cards in this kit. We get instructions for 3 of them, and then we're given license to fly and be free for the other 3 with the pieces that are left over. I mean, I have all of these, rub-ons. I still have card bases that I haven't done anything with. I still have extra paper. Here are the other card bases. Here is the pad of paper that comes. You get plenty of paper, even though sometimes it hurts cutting it. You're like, oh! But there you go. You know, deal with it. And these are still all of my scraps I have left to work with. So there's much, and there's one thing I haven't done that the instructions tells you is that we could take some of these scraps and they have us decorate these. We have these envelopes and we're supposed to cut those strips and decorate the back flap and use the rub-on. So I may come back at the end of this video and see how long I take, and let's decorate at least one of the envelopes. Sounds like a plan? Sounds like a plan. All right, so let me get this stuff out of my way and at least get cracking. So the first thing, and I've done have some of it done and some of it not done, so that I can go through and do some of it with you to show you how it's done. So the first thing you got to do is cut your paper down the size, and if you're smart, you collect all of your pieces, and I already did. So I collected all of my ephemera pieces. And where's my ephemera pack? I wanted to show you how I organized it, but that would mean I could find it, and so much for organization, right? Oh my goodness, where is it? Okay, I'll come back to how I've organized it, but the first time I looked for the ephemera pieces, it was like I had to go with all of it and then start to dig around, and that made me crazy. So I organized all of the ephemera into individual bags and then put it all in the pack. So now I can go to, you know, I have a little, you know, a little Ziploc for the fairies, one for planty things, one for mushrooms, etc. It makes it a lot easier. Sometimes it's worth taking a few minutes and organize, and then they'll put things where you don't know where you put them. That helps a lot. I don't see it. I really don't. Holy cow. Anyway, so we have 2 pieces of paper that we have to cut down. One of them is the inner lining paper, and know that in the instructions say, and they tell you this in the instruction. So read the instructions thoroughly. Did you hear me? Thoroughly. All the way through. Don't be a dork like me. It's entertaining, but no. But all measurements are width by height. So whatever measurement they give you to cut your paper down, know that you're going this way and then that way. And always watch your paper to make sure that it's directional. I mean, in all honesty, this paper, like this background paper, it doesn't matter which way you're going to cut. But I decided this was up. So I cut this sheet of paper, if I remember correctly, 5 3/8 by 6 5/8, because we still have to score it. This stands up. This is going to be stands up this way, but it holds the card. So it's like a diorama is what we're making. We do make a diorama with this card. Oh, there's another little piece. Who are you? Oh, you're a little flower. Okay. And then this is the other piece. This piece goes on top of the card. We're framing the card. And this time I cut this correctly. The other time I didn't, because I was trying to save paper. And I used a ruler and a craft knife, and that was not a bad thing, but not a good thing. So we ended up wasting paper. Not a lot, but it didn't matter. One thing I will tell you, when you trim your paper, stay consistent with your trimmer. Whatever trimmer you use, a big one, a little one, it doesn't matter. Use the same trimmer all the way through. So because this paper in one of the directions is bigger than my little, I can't accommodate more than 6 inches on my Tim Holtz here, okay? So I had to go to the Caterpillar. Don't swap back and forth. Okay, but the other one fits here. No. You're going to use your bigger trimmer. In this case, in my case, It's my Caterpillar. Stay consistent. And I've opened up a little bit of space on my desk, so now my Caterpillar fits. I have less of a trouble. I've gone back to this because the guillotine, my Tim Holtz guillotine, I'm hanging out. So I've gone back to my Old Faithful Caterpillar. Okay. But now we are going to cut this down, and I did it old school. So we have to do two things. We have to cut this hole out. Again, we have a diorama. So we're supposed to cut it with a 3/4 inch frame. You can find, if you have it, you can use a die to cut this out and call it close or do exactly. So if we measure this, going by my ruler, my Tim Holtz ruler, it is 4 inches by 2 and about 2 5/8. Yeah, 2 5/8. So you'd have to find a die that cuts that or within reason, but know that if it's not exactly here, your instructions won't hold true, okay? So because the next level we have to do is we have to cut this to go over it. And on this piece, and I'll show you here because I did it on each, so we do one of each section. It wants a 5/8 of an inch frame so that you have a little bit of edging. On my first card, that didn't work out. Why? Because I flubbed the measurement by not following my rule and using two different cutting methods. Don't do that. Okay? So we have to cut it opening here, and then it allows for a little tiny frame of the white background to show up. Okay? So, and how to cut these, I mean, you can use a die, or you're going to have to go old school, which is how I opted to do this. So we're going to do this real, so we have to grab, in this case, cutting mat, and I have the cutting mat, that we are cutting mat with the ruler, except don't do both layers or you're going to have a problem. So all you do is you just lay it down, make sure it's straight, and we grab our ruler and we put this here, and then we use our craft knife to cut this. Now here's the deal, I have to go to the family room to grab my craft knife because my craft knife is missing. We have no idea where it is. I just finished making an order on Amazon to order another craft knife until that one appears. I already put the men on the house on the lookout for my craft knife. I pulled it out because I asked Robert to re-dye the sheath, the leather sheath he made me, and I put it out there to tell him, ask him to do that, and I have no idea what I did with it. There you go. But give me a second, because the other craft knife that Steve is loaning me is in the family room. I was watching the women's bobsleds finals, and we took the bronze. Yay! Anyway, I was out there sharpening it with a sharpening stone out in the family room, and that is exactly where I left it. Be right back. Told you I'd find them. When you're not looking, that's when things turn up, and they were hiding cleverly inside. So these are the ephemera pack that came out. I cut off the top like I normally do. But this is what I did. I separated them all out. So they are pretty much by, you know, titles and, you know, flowers. And here are my fairies. Just everything. So when I need to reach for something, I can find it a lot faster. And these are longer pieces. They were only, you know, 3 of them, and I already used 1 of them, so I didn't need to put them in a little Ziploc. But we have all of these. So do yourself a favor and take a moment and do these. And these are just my snack bags. So I just grabbed the snack bags and did that. You can find littler ones. I mean, you can find Ziploc bags cheap everywhere. So there you go. Okay. So that's it. Lecture over. Oh, no, see, I lied. There was 3 of these because that one. Either way, there was only 3 of them. I didn't think they merited their own bags. Their feelings might be hurt. They might disagree, but there you go. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to start cutting these up very quickly. Let's try not to take up too much of your time. got these all cut out. I had to go and draw out one because I hadn't done it yet. And I got a major search for my pencil. You don't care, of course. But I got these done. Remember, as I said in my first video, is that you need to save these pieces. And look, I just saw I didn't erase my line. I thought I'd gone through all of them. So this is the piece you cut out of the frame. You need to save it. We use it at the end. You will see. All will be revealed if you haven't watched the first video. If not, then you've already seen the first video. You're hoping that I do a better job in the second video. I know. Don't lie to me. I know. I know. Right? I'm hoping I'm going to do better this time too. We're on the same boat. Okay. So now we have all our pieces together that we need to build our cards. Now what we need to do is we need to score both of these pieces of paper. And we're going to score them 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch, and 2.5 inches, right? Because I read this already. I memorized it. Yes, I did. So it's good. So we're going to grab our handy dandy score buddy, and we'll see how far we catapult our tool today. Let's see. Here we go. Not too far. Not too bad. This is just a thing I do just to make me laugh, which is everything I do makes me laugh, because otherwise I'd be crying all the time. And we're just going to quickly, whoops, no, hold it in place, Myra. Be careful. Hold it. I do about 2 good scores. So 1/2, 1.5, and 2.5. Okay. And we'll do, where's the other piece? Oh, that is the other piece. That one goes here. This is the purple piece. So again, 1/2, 1.5, and 2.5. Okay. You want to be firm, but don't be so firm that you go through the paper. That will not do you good. And now we put this away. And now, quite literally, we are ready to start putting our card together. And what order you do things depends on how you decorate and whatnot. I mean, I'm of the opinion, I think I put my frame on first. And you want to do it right side up. Watch the direction of your paper, people. Do not be mean. But see, now I cut this the right thing. I stay consistent, although not perfectly so, but you're supposed to see a little bit of the frame, and even then you still don't. It frames on the inside, but it's supposed to also frame on the outside, excuse me. It's also on the inside, and it's not perfect. Why is it not perfect? Because we used a trimmer for this, and we used the craft knife and a ruler for that. So be prepared, unless you are the perfect measurer, and I am not, that you're going to end up with a little bit of difference. Oh, well, guess what? The beauty of a handcrafted item. Nothing perfect except God. And there we go. And we're good with that. So now I use tape. You guys know, most of you hang on with me, know that I have a hang up about using tape, because that way, if I screw up, then I can lift it up easier. If I glue down, that's it. We're committed, good, bad, and otherwise. And then I have to think fast on how am I going to fix, cover it up so that nobody knows except you and everybody, or me, and everybody on YouTube that watches this video, and hopefully they don't get the card that's screwed up. And there you go. And and here again, this is one thing I did not do, is I should have burnished this down better. This whole thing all works better if this card lies flatter. Look, much better. So now we're going to frame this puppy up. Right. Yes, we are. Oh my goodness. And then this is where sometimes the tape doesn't work in our favor. There. If we are not totally paying attention. And I got to learn, is more or less center my tops and my sides. And there we go. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to insert, this part goes in here, okay? And what we're adhering or gluing down is this part, not the part that's scored, this part. So let's do that real quick. And one in the middle. And now we fiddle-fartle with this a little bit so that it all looks kind of even. It's the sides, really. The tops don't matter much. Okay, there we go. Now give me a second and I'll do this card too. got my linings inside, and what the instructions have us do is accordion fold this and then close it up and put it together. But I'm not doing that yet because I will have an easier time decorating this before I do the accordion fold. In my opinion, might be the last thing I do, because we also decorate the back of the card, and that is the one thing I have not done, is cut the back panels. So we're gonna do, you know what, we need to cut the back panels. Let's put the back panels first, because doing everything else on the back is easier when this is flat. So here we go. Don't have my act together. What a shock. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab the paper and we're gonna do that right now. I'm back. I gotta be careful what I'm doing because I have to watch out, because I have a little dog right under my feet who is determined to park himself in a way that I'm going to run him over with the chair. Okay, so guys, in the instructions, it tells us to cut out the back panel 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, which is what I did here. And honestly, I am not totally happy with the result here, but I don't have much choice in leaving it as is, because I have got some over here. Although I could take that off, the rub-on, and fix this a little bit technically. I plan on lifting this up, this top panel part off, and removing the adhesive, I think. We'll see, because I have an idea, and it came to me while I was cutting this. So I like to have very little margin on the back. And so I measured the card. And this card is not quite 5.5. It actually is, but it's like a by my measuring a tick more. It doesn't matter. I measured my card. Okay, so let's call it 5.5 by 4 1/4. I measured my back panel to be, 5 1/4 by 4, so that there's more back panel and less blank space around it. I did this for both. This is my adaptation. Okay, when you have a time to think, it's like, oh, you do stuff. So now we're gonna go and put down, I did that for both of them, and I'm happy that is just a me thing. And that is, oh my gosh, look how pretty that backside is. It's like, oh, I can't believe we covered it. And there you go. Anyway, although I should look and see, I forget. Hang on a second, now I'm thinking, God help us all. I wonder if it's too busy. Because my goodness, no, we're just gonna keep it as is, and I'll buy more paper and make more cards. And oh my gosh, because isn't that just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous? And we've used it all up. I have used it between the front and the back. And here's the thing, if I do that, it's gonna, then suddenly the back is look prettier than the front. No. So there you go. We're committed now. And those are things. And remember always when I say this, when you're doing kits and instructions, they are a guide. They are not a girdle. Okay? So if you don't like the way they say, hey, I don't want to do my paper that way. I'm going to do it that way. Measurements, I would pay more attention to, absolutely, unless you are purposefully, like the decision I just made, are making a change. But if you want to use your paper in a different way, use your paper in a different way. You know what? This is your card. It is your card. You do what makes you happy. You do you. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on the subject. Because I do me all the time with limited success, but it is what it is. But we go to what Shauna says, Shauna's rule. Remember that. It is the beauty of a handcrafted item. And there it is. So let's get these two pieces glued down. Taped down. Oh. Rolling, 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 rolling. I should just put this tape down beforehand, and that would have saved us, a minute on video time. Okay, so now we're going to put this one. Now here on this one, this back panel, it is not the back panel that the instructions tell me to use. Why? Because I screwed up cutting it. So I cut in the wrong direction because I'm a dingbat. So I didn't have enough paper of this to do this. And there it is. So I went with something else. I'm like, okay, what else do I have? And it took me a few minutes because I had to think not only, okay, let me just grab any old paper. It's like, what do I plan on doing with the other 3 cards that I still have to make? So I figured, okay, this is my sacrificial back panel. Okay. So we're going to deviate from the instructions. I'm going to, because they have us decorate all the front first. But it is so much easier to work with a flat card. So let's work with the flat card, in my humble opinion. Oh, Okay, so now this is where these pieces that, remember, I told you in the beginning that we have to save, and I didn't get, let me get that. I see a little fluffy part, and we don't want that. We don't want that visible at all. Otherwise, it's good. And let me look at this one real quick. And anything that you see, like a little piece of paper or whatever, you know, that's what the nail file is for. There we go. We'll just, you know, just send it to the other side. It doesn't matter if it's visible on the other side. It just doesn't need to be visible on what we determined to be the front side. Okay. And there we go. And let's go and blow this up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we glue in by the instructions. We glue this panel center to here. I'm rethinking that strategy and wanting to go a little bit lower. And you're asking, Myra, why do you want to do a darn full thing like that? And I still need. There we go. Why are we doing that, Myra? Why? Because I'm deviating from the instructions again. It's just like, is this me we're talking about? So I looked at this piece of paper and I looked at that and I saw potential. I'm like, oh. So we are going to deviate yet again. And here is where my lovely Caterpillar comes into so much. I don't know why I stopped using it. I think because I got excited because I got the Tim Holtz. But this, I mean, this thing, the ability to be able to see where this line is clearly because of the lights is everything. My batteries are loose. They do that. Okay, so I'm going to cut these apart. Why, Myra? Why? I'll show you. But let's do that. So let's cut these. Okay, so see, now I can see, I can line it up at the top and at the bottom so that I do a good cut. So you don't have on either side. And that is big. I like going down the top. Don't ask me why. It's just a me thing. It's just part of my cookie. It's the madness. It's the madness. Okay, so we do that. Okay. So here we are making the video go long. Even though I try not to, we all know what that sweet part is, and there you go. Always feel free to fast forward me and mute me if you wish, guys. I will not be offended. I will not blame you. I will not judge you. Oh my goodness. There we go. It's like I want to tell my Myra, shut up. Enough. My mother told me that I started talking at about 2 and I haven't shut up yet. And there you go. She just like I was a cotorrita. Yo era una cotorrita. So anybody speaks Spanish or knows cotorrita, it's a parrot. So she's I was the house parrot. I was a little parrot. And yeah, I still am. And I might as well, since I'm doing this, might as well cut all of them apart. What the heck, right? So that's good. No, this one I missed a little. Oh no, it's the outer edge. So that's not me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Wasn't me. The cameras are lying. Wait. Okay. Okay, there we go. So now we have all these little pieces. So you're asking, Maya, why? Why are we doing this, lady? Because we're going to have a lovely pocket that we're going to put a rub-on on. It's going to look so beautiful that we, in theory, could sign. But you know where I'm going with this. I know you do. That's why we need it to be lower. Wouldn't it be cool if we had a little tag? So that's why we need to go low. We need to really go low. Or we trim the tag. Whichever. You know, whatever it is. Or we only, I mean, quite honestly, we just put glue on both sides and just tuck the tag in and it can stick out by what that's. Who says that the bottom has to be sealed? Right? Tell me where it is in the rule books. What rules? So now we can put that little tag in there. Wouldn't that be cool? And we can put a little sentiment. We can write something right there. Right? You know I'm right. You know it. And then we can add maybe a little pretty one just because. Right? So that is why I'm going into left field with this. So now I mean, my options are I trim this, and I could trim this down a little bit, but I don't want to. I think I am not going to seal the bottom of it because in the alternative, if it is sticking out, well, no, it fits. Hang on. It fits. Well, no, if I go straight to the bottom, and I could, and there's no reason why I can't. If I go straight to the bottom, will it still stick out the top? That is what we have to see. So we're doing some engineering here. No, it'll make it. So this is something, and this is a decision for you to make. I am making this decision for myself. I'm not going there, even though it does cover that pretty little spot right there, darn. But we're going to make a new pretty little spot. So I am going to put this pocket at the bottom, and then I can seal it. So we're going to go here, wee, and we're going to go here, which is more, wee. Here we're going to deviate. We are going to go, I mean, very carefully, go straight on the edge. And I'm only going halfway on and halfway off. You see that? Can you see I'm coming off the edge? I am. And all I'm going to do is just fold that over. There you go. It's just a little bit more. But that makes that bottom less, you know, less there. And put that in, put that down. And then let's just put our little guy here and let's center it to the sides. Okay. I'm going to call it good. Now give me a second. I'm going to do the other card. My scrappy friends, I've tried to make up a little bit of the time that I've wasted going into left field and, you know, and bird walking like I do. So we are ready. I've already got my panels glued down, adhered, so that now I have a pocket on the back of my card. How cool is that? You know, hello. Or it's not, I don't know. I like it. I am really pleased with this little idea of mine. So now we're ready to take our rub-on. So I looked real quick and saw what they used, and I liked it. So we're going to do it too. Here I have to deviate a little bit because of my pocket on this one. I kind of did it to myself because remember, because it would be a non-issue if this pocket were a little bit higher, but it'll still work. It's still going to work. I just have to line it up. Graphic 45 card look just as beautiful on the back as it does on the front. These rub-ons are just amazing. Now you may have noticed I did a little bit of mistake here, and I have a little bit here. I think it's because the way I was holding down the this stuff is really sticky. The rub-ons really want to rub on. So I mean the repair for that on this one, I was able to partially fix it with my glue eraser, and let's see if we can do the same here. If not, the Tombow will do it. But, you know, let me see if I'm able to at all get some of this off, because the glue eraser is a little bit less, you know, abrasive on the paper. But this stuff, once it's on, I'm telling you right now, people, ain't coming off. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, but it takes a little bit of doing. You just have to hit it. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, I almost got it off, though. They're just taking a few seconds or a minute. Sorry. But I wanted to show you, in case that happens to you, that's your fix, okay? But I love it. I am really pleased. So there's still a little bit of space. That one already came partially on, and that's why I went back. I'll put it there. And what the heck, because I'll probably write on the tag the little card that I'm sticking inside of it, which I already planned on. I want to use this one because I just felt it, you know, so it'll go in there along with our little fairy friend right here, and it's all good. Okay. Okay. So now we really are ready to decorate the front of the card. Finally. Let me set these aside because we don't need these right now. And I'll set these aside before I rub them accidentally on somewhere that we don't want to rub them on. Okay. So let me get that out of the way. Move popsicle stick. Actually, hopefully the popsicle stick doesn't disappear on us. You know, how likely you think that's not going to be. All right. Move that magnet, and I have to redo the magnets. Okay. So now we have these, and we are ready to decorate our card. And it just happens to be that I have the third card open, the instructions to the third card right here facing me. So we will start there. So we have all our little pieces, and I always take a look at the pieces when you get them. I noticed that I had to because they're punch outs, and they're not all totally punched out. They look gorgeous, but how much cooler is a detail once you punch out that little detail right there. So if we are looking at our card, this little girl, she goes on the inside. She is what's decorating the inside of our diorama, okay? And then this our little floral friend here goes right here. And wait a minute, I don't see or do I have an ephemera piece? Is it as a rub-on? It is not a rub-on. I am missing an ephemera piece, so it's got to be one of my signages. So I see it already. I missed that. I just spotted it right now when I was looking. So, wait. Let's get this right. Just on sheer principle. Okay. Hello, friend. Okay, so there we go. So we have our flowers here, or it goes, actually, from what it looks like, we must tuck it in. It doesn't mean we must be trimming this off. So, give me a second. Flower strip and trim it to get to 4 inches. Yep. So we have to trim this down to 4 inches. Oh, that makes me sad. That explains. Now all is revealed. I get it. I make myself crazy looking for, out of the ephemera pack, a piece of flowers that go there. Now I know where it came from. Duh. Some people are just their own kind of special, because if we go here, watch. I'm betting you. Yeah, that's my 4 inches right here. So we are just going to kind of prettily do a fussy cut. Like right here. There we go. And now it looks like the ephemera pack. Wah! And what it looks like here does not matter. It doesn't really matter. We're going to channel our inner Metallica. Don't ask me why the rocker chick went there, but I did. And we can glue it here and there so it'll open up. Isn't that not that cool? Or we just glue it to the inside. I have to decide which way I'm going to do with that. But meanwhile, and then this goes to the front. So hello, friend, goes right here, this here, this here. And now, so give me a second. I'm going to adhere all of the foamy bits all for us, okay? I'm back. So I have now put foam tape on everything. It's like if it didn't move, it got foam tape on it. Good Lord, even though I'll practically put glue on, move foam tape on the magnets here, but anyway, so I have one of these pieces, and it goes this purple one. Here again, I'm going to say, look at your pieces. Make sure that you poke out all of the little pieces that need to be poked out, because they don't come all the way poked out. And if you're not paying attention, it's not like, oh my gosh, this is earth shattering and it's the end of the card. But you don't get all the pretty of seeing stuff in the background, and it takes away a bit of the dimensionality that you're trying to accomplish with the diorama card here. So I've now poked them all, and there's one that just really loves where it wanted to be, so it wants to stay. This didn't have any, and I think this is, I was reading the instructions, said add the sprinkle of love title, but I found it in the rub-ons, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to add that. And I look at the picture, and you don't even see it on the picture. So we're going to play with the placement of this, okay? Because they want to put it on the bottom. I don't know if it works on the bottom, so we'll see. We're going to play with this. So anyway, so here's where this is supposed to be laid out, and I like it, so I'm going to keep it. I really do. So we have our friend, the mushroom house. And I think it does have to be a little on the high side. And I put dimension on everything. So this should be glued flat to the card. No. I added dimensional tapes to this. I added dimensional tapes to this where it could. And the same for our little fairy. So it's going to be a fat card, and there you go. Deal with it. And this, when it opens up, it won't make a matter, because if it's all sticking out, it doesn't work very well. But remember that we still have to score, put this together. So yes, it does work. Really, really, I wouldn't lie to you. Not purposefully at any rate. Okay, so where's the spot? So that's the spot. So that tells me that's the nail. So I take this side, although this is not as pointy. So I changed my mind on that. Where is a pointy pair of tweezers? Those are not as pointy as these. These are my favorite pointy tweezers. So we're going to take a moment. I took a moment already and burnished all of my things down. So look how easy they come up. And they're all coming up. I think actually maybe showboat. Let me see. Maybe not so much. Oh, that one messed up. But still, no, and it didn't come off anyway. So much for the showboating. It's going to be, that's what you get for trying to show up, lady. Anyway, so let's toss those all away. We're going to pick up our mushroom house, detach it from said tweezers. We're going to move our fairy out of the way too, because this goes more or less in the middle, because we're going to have pieces on both sides. So a little bit low on both sides, but not, I mean, you're going to see it no matter what in the entirety. So it's not like, don't make yourself crazy. I have that covered for you, okay, for doing this. Okay. So we have this down, and now we are going to put our fairy down because I want to. And I can't remember if I burnished this. So I burnish all of my pieces down. Where is, I like using the bone, here it is, it's right there. Don't ask me why. This is a total idiosyncrasy. Just so you know, and if anybody is idiosyncratic, it is moi, okay? So we have our fairy. I've done that because when I do that, this happens much easier, unless I'm trying to demonstrate to prove a point, and then it doesn't work. But it does for me. I do it. And just call me crazy. And trust me, no one on this planet that knows me will argue that point with you. Ask my husband. Trust me. He looks at me and I go, look, dude, you picked me, okay? I remind him of that, and then I'll remind him how when he proposed, because we were good. We were like 2-3 not even 3 months from our wedding before he finally proposed and gave me like a ring. I had like a token ring, and because we were figuring it all out, and he was figuring it all out, and I kept telling him, no, I don't want a foo-foo fancy ring. Don't spend a ton of money on diamonds. I don't care. Get me a turquoise ring. Get me a CZ. I don't care. So he finally did it, and then he did something special. And let me get this down. So next we're going to glue this down, and then I'll tell you there's something special. So we're pass holders. So we were at Disneyland one day, and we got to see someone get down on one knee and propose to his fiance in front of the castle. Ah, and I said, oh my God, that is so, a woman that I'm like, that is so cool. Nobody ever did that. And I've been married before, okay? I've been married before once, was engaged a second time, and that didn't work out, thank God. And then along comes Steve. So the dude hangs on to this thought for 1.5 years, okay? While we're together. Because it was like, okay, the whole thing about getting married was that we were to live together. And he says, we're not shacking up. I'm not having that. So go figure. Gotta have love a man with morals. And so we, got into getting married mode. And then, so he hangs on to this. So he arranges a trip to Disneyland, and that was in between our pack. We had let our passes go because we were planning a wedding, and like, okay, we don't need to spend that money. We'll wait and renew later. And that was before passes got stupid to renew. Thank God. So he arranges with our friend Bridget, who is my friend who I've known for years, who has been a cast member to Disneyland for more than 40 years. She's retired now. She retired out at 45. And arranged to get us in, to sign us in, because she had those sign-in privileges. Sign us into Disneyland, and we had talked about all the time about doing the Bridget tour of Disney, and Bridget knows everything about it. She knows where all the bodies are stashed, etc. It's totally awesome. So she arranged the tour, the Bridget tour, just as an outing. And I forgot that I couldn't make it that long, so that's okay. We will peel it up carefully, right? I could probably use this easy, or I grab undo, whichever. But okay, here's a mistake, and we're gonna fix said mistake. So she arranges the tour, and we're at the castle. We go into the grotto, and we're like, oh, having a moment. We was talking, and next thing I know, this man gets down on his knees and almost falls over. That was the best part. He almost fell over. I had to catch him, otherwise it would have been hilarious. More hilarious. It was like, So he proposed at Snow White's at the grotto there. Just, God only, I know this has been way late. It's a year and a half, but, and he just goes on. And he made the stupid old lady cry, me. So there you go. He hung on to that. That was the best part, and then I got my, my ring and all of that. And it was just the thought. I think the best part really, we're not even going to talk about the ring or everything, it was the fact that he remembered that I had said that I had made that comment, and how cool that was. And nobody had ever done a romantic touch like that. And he did it. And my friend Bridget got it on video and everything. I'm just like, oh, I cried. He was such a dork. So there you go. And that's the story. So there's the dorky story. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and put sprinkle love right there. So it does work. I like it. So it stays inside. I have to remove a piece of tape. I can tell over here and over there I didn't get enough of it, but I'm not going to worry. In fact, no. Give me a second. I'm going to remove this piece right here and this right here. I'm going to hit it with undo and get it done quickly. Back. Very excited. Steve had exciting news for me. He interrupted me coming back with exciting news. But let's work on this and then I'll tell you the exciting news. So this card is easily decorated. And I'm technically speaking, really, do I need to show you how to do it? But I wanted to show you a little deal that I thought was very cool. And I wanted to be able to show you how to do it. So needless to say, our little lovely fairy here goes in the back. And I have cat hair because I was just loving on. And now the cat hair is transferred to the card, because I was loving on Callie, who is right behind me, desperately looking cute and wanting to be loved on and purring up a freaking storm. She, sometimes she has her moments. Elvis and her, oh my goodness, they have a turf war going on upstairs. You can hear her all the time. You hear her, "Meow!" And it's usually Callie. And if I have Dante next to me, I know that it's Elvis. It was annoying her. It's just like, and he's our original cat. He's the OG. So he's like, I don't know what you're thinking, man. I was here before all of y'all were here. So, and that's the whole deal. So it's so, so there's hilarity in this house with the animals and turf war. Okay, so we're going to take our fairy again, and it's, it's going to be covered on both sides a little bit, top and bottom. But that really doesn't matter, because when you open the diorama, she's still going to be all, you look at her this way. And, I mean, not totally, but whatever. I mean, technically speaking, can I still, is it too stuck? Let me see. It's pretty darn stuck, because I would, if it were me, if I had to do it again, I'd lower the mushroom. So let's do that, because sometimes it's worth taking a moment. And I want to show you guys again, as always, Myra can always fix something she screws up with a tad of undo. So let's just undo this real quick because it's super fresh, so it'll come right up. See what I mean? And we're going to do this because we need to dry the undo so that it's sticking again. See, the things that you guys come here for this, and admit it, just to see the lunacy. Everybody else is so perfect, and with their wonderful voices and their professionalism. And then there's me, who is a flippin' hot mess. There we go. Okay, much better. All right, so now we are going to do, now we have this little piece here. And I'm going to do it by tape. There's a part of me that's thinking maybe that it's not my more genius idea. So I'm going to double up on this tape. I have a suspicion I'm going to have to retouch it up with wet glue. But let us see, because if I have to move it while it's taped, I can move it, okay? But this is the flower strip. Remember that I cut it. So this goes on the bottom because it's going to be covered. But basically what they want me to do is they put it so that it's down here, okay? Right? And is it an angle? There's a part of me that wants to put it at an angle because you know me, I'm all about cattywampus. So I want to do this, okay? And actually, how do they expect the card to open if it won't open very much unless we move this up? That is, you know what? That's the deal, okay? Because Myra is a dork. So this is how we fix that situation. Hello? All right, so we take that little piece of tape off, and there it is. So let's put it away before it sticks somewhere else. And now we still get to use our tape. Because you know me, I'm going to have my way with tape no matter what. Right? Okay, there we go. It always stays taped. There we go, to this, okay? So that way it opens and closes. Now, over here on this side, we have to put our lovely little fairy right here, and then that flower piece that I trimmed off, like this. So I can either do it like this, or I can do it like this. I have to decide because it'll show a bit of her feet. And I mean, they should be. So I think I'm going to go this way with it. So, and I put tape where I didn't need it. Because I'm thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking when I first put the tape down that this was the fairy that goes in the back. And no, she's not. And I think I'm going to have to remove part of the other one. So let's do that real quick. Okay, we'll set that aside because that is reusable. So I'm just going to put it right here because it'll dry up and it'll become sticky again. So what I need to see is if I do this, how much tape is sticking out. Over here, we lose a little bit. So I have to cut a little tiny bit off. No problem. No harm, no foul. This is stuff that happens behind the scenes, behind the camera. And now you're seeing it in front of camera and you might be fiddly farting with it. Or you might not be because you might not be doing all the lunacy that I do. So, and therein lies, you know, half the complicating factors. And I really did not take off enough. So do I really, I need to change the direction of this tape. That's what I need to do. So let's pull the rest of it up. Will it come up yet? Sure will. I still need that piece of dimensional tape. I need it to go this way. Right? Can we see it on that side? No, we can't. Okay, so now, if we glue it down here, stop moving, little girl. Then we are good to go. Okay. Right here. I'm going to take that little corner just to be safe off. Just because I want to. Okay. Alrighty. So now we'll take all of these tapey bits off that'll come right off because I've been messing with them for so much. Okay, now we are going to take, and these fairies are just so pretty. I swear I want to get more of this stuff just because I like them. Okay. There we go. Are we good? Now, I hope she fits in the envelope because her wings do on the card. She is farther in. So, hang on. Hang on. I got to fix this. All right, friends. I'm going to say that if you're a nut like me, always keep the envelope that you're going to put a card in just in case she fits. I don't have to do anything. I grabbed the envelope I knew I had handy and I tried to put her in there and she fits by some miracle of God because He is kind to me because Lord knows I need a lot of that. Okay, so do I want to do it? There's a part of me, I want to do it this way, which means I have to move this tape. I changed my mind. So we're going to take that. We're going to grab our undo because the undo saves everything. Let me dry. Are you sticky? Just about. Okay. And we're going to go this. Of course, yeah, it's sticky because now it's sticking to me. And let me take that little corner out that I know is sticking out. I can see it. I can tell. My spidey senses says, yeah, go ahead, Maya, try that. Okay, so now there we go. Because I want the, there to be, her toes or feet somewhat visible. Why? Because I'm crazy. Right? So there we go. Kind of like right there. And oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to move the tape again. Good thing is it's sticky, but not like ridiculously sticky. So that should work. Yeah. Okay. Ta-da! I'm sorry guys, these my videos go too long. And there we go. So this will hold it right here. So this keeps it in place. So we're going to give it a good burnish. Not because I care so much about the top, the tape, the release, because I want to make sure it stays stuck after all this undo. And I don't want to have to cut another strip and do this all over again. Why not? I mean, practice does make perfect, although with me, that's a waste of time. But it is part of the creative process and fun, and I don't care. Alrighty. And there we go. So we see her little toes, her little foot over there. Like it's really, in the grand scheme of things, that important. Probably not, but that is my crazy. All right. So now we have this tape to remove. Oh. And we're going to put hello, friend, down. And I want to grab the tweezers because it allows me to see it better without my hand in the flipping way. Or my fat fingers. Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. My fingers have always been chubby. I look at my daughter's fingers and oh my goodness, her, you know, her ring finger's about the size of my pinky finger. It's ridiculous. You know, her ring, you know, she has these tiny little hands and fingers, and my fingers were never that skinny. She's about my size I was when I got married, when I married her father. And trust me, my fingers were not that small. I look and I'm like, holy cow, how can your fingers be this small? Anyway, and was I that skinny once? Yeesh. Okay, so there we go. Now all we have to do is do our folding here, our folding to finish making, to make this the fun fold that it is. And while I'm doing this crazy fun folding, I can give you our cool news. Steve calls me on the phone in the break and tells me, guess what? And I'm like, I don't know what. And he tells me that he's listening to the radios. He's on his way to the pharmacy. That's where he went to go make a runs. And he's hearing them announce this movie, a new documentary by Bob Gurr. Anybody who is a Disney fan like we are knows that Bob Gurr is a huge Imagineer. He did the Cars for Haunted Mansion, the bobsleds. There's about half of Disneyland is Bob Gurr. He is a legend in Imagineers, and they have done a movie about him, creative by design. I've had the pleasure of meeting him once, and I have some artwork signed by him. In fact, I have a Funko Pop that I bought that is him, and I had him sign it. The man is 94 years old. He is just a gem. And Steve won tickets for a special screening at the Art Center, the Performing Arts Center in Beverly Hills, to go see the movie and to meet Bob Gurr. Ah! I'm so excited. When you're a Disney freak like us, it's like, oh, that, you know, it's like a rock star. He is a Disney rock star. I am so excited. So there's my exciting news. That is it, you know, as I'm doing cards with fairies on them. But when you're a Disney crazy person like I am, or just a crazy person, who knows, you know. It took him a few times to get through. He didn't think he was going to make it, and finally got through. And he said, you still have tickets? He said, yep, you got in just in time. I think we got the last 2 tickets. Because they were giving away like 5 tickets. So yay! Or 5 winners, whichever. And there we go, guys. So all we have to do now, we're almost here. While I'm yammering away, we have got our folding done into that accordion fold, which qualifies. I mean, it's a fold, okay? Anything beyond a half, the fold in the middle, like most cards have, that is a fun fold. So it qualifies this card as a fun fold. So that's why I qualified it for Fun Fold Friday. And now all we got to do is press this down into play. Close the card. There we go. Close the card and whoop. I think it's now. No, it's okay. All right. So there we go. There we go. So you can see it from the top. I mean, you don't get the impression, but I mean, there you go. So see, it's just such a cool little diorama. Okay. And now we're going to do the same with this one. And we're going to take our tape. I'm going to run it a couple of times because just to make sure it covers everything. Should I be using glue? Probably, but I'm not going to because there you go. I march to the beat of my own mad drummer. And the Akita. There we go. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay. So now all we do is we hold that down and we close the card. And whoop! There we go. Pop goes the card. And there we go. So we had some, it's basically a 10th fold card. But look how cool that is. Now, if we want to add a little bit of pop, like I did to the other card, sparkly, sparkly, are you wet? Yes, because yes, you are wet. So, you know, I want to, let's add a little bit of sparkle to her wings. Not, you know, we don't have to cover it all, but just little streaks of sparkle. You know, you may not be able to see it very well, but they are there. And we'll add a little bit of sparkle to her dress, just to make the fairy stand out a little bit, because she is just too stinking adorable, right? And we'll do the same for this fairy in here. Add a little bit of sparkle. There's always room for sparkle, right? Right. I agree. I think so. Do I want to sparkle her braid? I think I do. I've decided she's going to have sparkly hair. That is so pretty. And we could add a little bit of sparkle to a couple of the flowers or all of the flowers. What the heck, right? Just, you know, just add little flicks. I think it'll just make that little, you know, add that little punch to the card because this is a beautiful card. I mean, it's not because I made it or anything. It's because Graphic 45 makes it impossible to, even for me, to make an ugly card. And their paper is just so fabulous. Their instructions are great. They really are. So the first time where I can't complain about instructions. So there we go. And if we want to go on the back side, because remember we have two fairies back here. So there we go. I'm going to sparkle her wings and probably her little braid just to add a little bit more. I mean, my sparkle. No, there's still sparkle there. There we go. And we're going to do it right, a little stripe right down here. And then we're going to sparkle her little wings right there. Let me add a little bit more so I get a little bit more sparkle. I think I'm drying out a little bit. There we go. There we go. It looks better. And I can tell I'm getting more. I've had this thing this thing has not been dormant for a year, so think about it. If I'm getting any sparkle out of it, that tells you how good this Spectrum Noir pen is. Because, you know, since before Mom passed, I have not hardly crafted. So there you go. I've been in almost a 1-year sabbatical. And there we go. We have that one. Now we'll go ahead and sparkle our other card so I can do the same thing right here. We're going to sparkle her wings. Add just a little bit of sparkle. But, I mean, do a little bit on her braid and then her dress. Just add little flicks of it just to make it add that little bit. I love it. I'm going to add it to her wreath too, I've decided. I don't know. I may do sprinkle with love. I don't know. We'll decide. We'll see. Back here, holy mackerel, what are we going to do? We're going to sparkle the top of the toadstool because I can. All right, there we go. It's my card until I give it to somebody. Then it's no longer my card. But tell me that is not cute. Alrighty, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this, you know, the tutorial, my little tutorial, my little instructions on how to make the cards from Fairy Bouquet from Spellbinders. Listen to me. From Graphic 45. And I will still make up the other 3 cards. I have to figure it out. And maybe I'll do a little short and show you guys what I did with those 3 cards. You know, what I ended up making. I enjoyed this. I had such a good time. I enjoyed sharing it with you. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and putting up with me. If you liked it, you go ahead and give me a like and drop me a note if you want. If you want to see more madness, there's more coming because look, right here, finally, I found it. This is the kit. I'm going to try to do this in a series of lives because this album is not a 2-hour video or, you know, it's going to take a while. But I would like to do it in a series. So if anybody is thinking about or has it, I'm going to do this on camera. I have issues with figuring out how to get on live on YouTube. Either that or I do it as a premiere and I'll be in the background in the chat with you while I'm talking about this. So we'll figure it out. Give me a week or 2 to figure that kit out. I have somebody who's going to work with me with figuring how to do that because I'm technologically challenged. But I'm going to let you go. So I'm probably going to do some more crafting. So you go out there and craft. Make something beautiful. And always remember that what you make and what you give brightens someone's day. So go out there and make a difference with your craft, okay? And as always, never forget, we're all a little mad here. So come on, craft the madness with me, okay? Talk to you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.